welcome Mr. George Wood to the studio. We're very honored to have the county manager in with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're with us. Man, things are really hopping around Wayne County. There's so many things going on.
There are.
Gee whiz. Okay, we'll start with the Maxwell Regional Agricultural and Convention Center.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to report that we have finished all of the construction contracts now, so they've all been awarded. We've been working with TA Loving and our architect, HH Architecture, to do the final ones. They've gotten them in, they've reviewed them, signed off on them, recommending them to us. We took them to the board on Tuesday, and the board approved that. So we now know it'll cost about $18,400,000 in construction costs.
That was pretty close, wasn't it, to the
estimate?
Well,
it's a little more, but we still have some additional contracts like for audio and some video, and also some furnishings and things like that.
And all this was done without raising taxes?
Without raising taxes, that's right. So we're very pleased with that. We are seeing an uptick in construction prices. So when we did the jail, between the time we did the jail and now we're doing MRAC, prices are starting to go up on certain things. So we have seen that. That's a little disappointing, but it is what the marketplace is. So, you know, but we've bid everything out, competitively bidding. I think TA Loving's done a very good job on that. The two of them did some value engineering on it, and were able to take about $891,000 of cost originally out by doing some substitutions on what they did on some of the items. So we're very pleased with that, and that was part of what we were getting with a construction manager at risk. So I think they did a good job on that.
We're seeing curbing, we're seeing pavement going in.
Yes.
They're cutting the driveways and, and the parking lots.
Yeah, most of the site work is well underway. Yeah. So the next step obviously is starting the building itself, and that people will be seeing that coming along shortly. So you're going to start seeing the building rise out of the ground here in the next month or so.
That's exciting.
It is. We're very pleased with it. I think it's going to be a beautiful addition to the community. We're also in the process of beginning to recruit for the director for that facility. And some people may say, well, why are you doing that before you open it? But the reason is people book these facilities a year or two in advance, and so we need to go ahead and be doing that. And we've also got to get a lot of policies in place. What are we going to charge for this particular room, setups for you know, setting up a room a particular way, working with caterers, getting contracts in place with caterers, things like that. So there are an awful lot of things that have to be in place so that when we open the doors, we're ready to go.
Will you be relying heavily, I would guess, on a new director to help with that?
That's correct. And so we will get the director on board.
Right.
We won't hire anybody else till we get much closer to actually opening the facility. But we do need to get this director on, because they're the ones that will be out recruiting conferences and things like that, and also helping make a lot of the decisions about which furnishings we should buy and those types of things, because we want someone who has experience in this area.
So we're still looking at early 18?
Yes, it'll be, I think right now with this contract, we set the completion date no later than March 1 of 18.
Oh boy, that's going to be such a big asset to Wayne County.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
It is exciting.
And again, I think TA Loving's doing a good job.
Yes.
The architects, HH Architecture, has been good working with them. They've made a good team, and we're very pleased with the progress to date.
Well, just to give you a heads up, Pat, Bria, and I are going to be doing some videotaping out there. I've talked to TA Loving, and they said, yeah, we're
great,
and we're set that up. So we're going to be bringing stories as it progresses on the new agriculture.
I think that'd be great, and let people see periodically coming up from the ground.
Yeah, I can hardly wait.
Good.
That's great. Okay, we had a hurricane roll through, and the county survived, and the city survived, and now it's time to clean up.
That's right.
And arrangements have been made.
Well, that's right. We did go through a terrible loss, as you know. There are a lot of people lost homes. Some people lost businesses. Some people may not have lost them, but they had some flood damage and that sort of thing. So everybody's wrestling with that. We do have FEMA in here now, and a disaster recovery center was set up at the park that the city had made available to us. And so all that's underway. The North Carolina Department of Transportation has been and continues to be picking up vegetative materials. So anything dealing with trees, shrubs, anything like that, they're picking that up. The decision was made by the department and also another agency of state government that everything else, in terms of construction debris, from, you know, if you had to take out sheetrock, insulation, furnishings, white goods, anything like that that is storm-related debris that's not vegetative, they wanted the counties to do that. And so we have been in the process of bidding that out. We awarded that Tuesday, and that company and the company that will monitor them will be out shortly doing that work. Our OES director, Mel Powers, is in charge of that. Mel's lining everything up with them. And I do want the public to know that once we have that information, we'll be getting that word out through all our various media sources, obviously including WGTV. Right. So we ask people to look for that so that they'll know when they're coming through, and make sure they have everything out there in the appropriate order so we can get it picked up. I
do have a question that, and I don't know if you're the person to ask about this, but a lot of these items that they pick up, white goods and such, would be considered to be recyclable items. Yeah. Now, will they keep these items?
Yeah, they'll be bringing everything to our landfill. Okay, and so when they do that, we have recycling for these various things. Excellent. So we'll be doing the same processing there that we normally do. The other thing is our landfill is typically closed on Wednesdays. While they're doing this, we're going to be keeping that open. Oh. So while they're getting in here, we want to give them the maximum assistance that we can, so that we're going to run it 6 days a week and get it done.
Oh my, that's great. So will it be open to the public as well on Wednesdays?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be open.
As well.
And which is what we did right after the tornado, I mean the hurricane as well, right, was to keep it open on Wednesday so that people could bring their stuff in. So, and we got good response on that. So I think with that, again, if people will keep aware that that's coming, it'll be in the newspaper, we'll have it on our website, we'll have it through the TV station, all of our, and of course social media, so all of our outlets, and we'll probably put it on Code Red, which alerts a neighborhood. That's good. So that we can get the word out to people that they will be working in these particular areas in the next day or two, and try to keep ahead of that and make sure people get it done.
And that way people can get their materials out.
Get it all out there, because when they come through, it's going to be a one-time thing. So we want to be sure everybody's got it out there. I don't think that's going to be a problem, because most folks have already had it out there. It's just taken a while to get the contract done and all that. I do want to say that this contract is for 3 years. So if we had another storm come in a year from now or something, we've already got the contract in place. So there won't be a delay next time on that. So we're excited about getting that. I think everybody's at a point now they've filled out their FEMA request. We're doing the same on the county's portions of properties that we own. I know the municipalities are, because we had a joint meeting with them and our folks and FEMA on that this past week. So hopefully things are getting back somewhat to normal. Operationally, the county is back to normal, but yeah, the community is going to be affected by this for months.
Yes, indeed, and it was a difficult time for us all, and the cleanup, I think, will help get people in the right frame of mind. We're getting back to some sort of normalcy.
That's right.
Well, let me ask you this: did the county, did we suffer buildings? Did our facilities suffer?
I think overall, as far as county facilities, we were extremely lucky. We had only minor damage to a few of our buildings, and we did have to replace some carpet in a few places, and had a few leaks. But other than that, I mean, considering we went through a hurricane, I think we came out extremely well.
Bad hurricane, yeah.
So this one, of course, was primarily just flooding. We didn't get the really high winds that you would normally associate with it. I think the highest we got were around 45 miles an hour. You know, normally it'd be in the 90 to 100 mile an hour. Then we would have had more structural damage to our buildings. Yeah.
You know, you don't always know what I'm going to ask you, and don't be nervous. But I wanted to, you know, David Harris came by and talked to us the other day about FEMA offering 2 ways that people can recover.
Right.
And the FEMA's offering, of course, elevation to raise structures up, and a buyout.
And a buyout.
So people can still go through that process, can they not?
That's right. They just need to go through the FEMA process and get signed up. And Dave is a wealth of information for us because he does this all over eastern North Carolina. So having him here in Goldsboro as a consultant has been tremendous help to our people because he knows those processes very well. But those 2 possibilities are available, and if people think they're interested in either one, they just need to talk to FEMA and get the information and see if it fits their situation.
We ran that interview heavily on the station here, but I do want to mention, if anybody's interested in seeing that, it is on our YouTube site. Go to waynegov.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, they can click on a link.
Great.
All right. I just thought I'd mention that during your time, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right. We have arrangements with UNC Hospital to have flight service.
Right.
Here. How's that coming along?
It's coming along really well. We have executed the lease with them, and the lease calls for us to do some improvements on the internal part of the hangar, primarily to put in sleeping quarters for their staff and also a staff room. So our public works people are in the process of doing that now. In the meantime, they've brought in a temporary trailer, which we've allowed them to hook up at the airport. So their staff is already here. They're already running calls for us. So this is a huge improvement for the community in terms of life safety, because this is a medevac helicopter. It'll airlift them to our hospital here in Goldsboro, and if necessary, if they have to go to a trauma unit, you know, then they can take them elsewhere, like Raleigh. So that's a huge improvement for us. It's also a nice improvement out at the airport. But it does lead to one other thing, and that is that was the last corporate hangar we had available. So the airport advisory committee has been working with the staff and also with the facilities committee and looking at what we can do now to expand the airport to put in some more corporate hangars. And so the Board of Commissioners approved on Tuesday a contract with W.K. Dixon, who is our engineering consulting firm out at the airport, to go after a state grant, and it's a 90% state grant, only 10% county.
Wow.
And that will give us the money to do the actual design, the bid documents and all of that, and then get that out for bid. And what it would do is what we need as far as increasing the apron coming off of the runway and coming over to the site where we'd have the 4 hangars, and then actually doing the site work for the 4 hangars. At that point, the board will make some decisions about, do we let individuals come in and do what's called a ground lease, where they lease that site from the county but build their own building. That's the quicker way, and in a way it's cheaper for us because we don't have to come up with the upfront money, and then they just pay us a ground lease, and usually at the end of somewhere around 30 years the building reverts to the county. So we're looking at doing some of those, and then we may look at the county doing at least one, because we always want to have one available in case we recruit an industry or we have an unusual opportunity like the UNC healthcare situation, to where we've got a hangar available we can immediately put somebody into.
This is a big opportunity for a company who's looking for a place. If there's a hangar available, readily available,
that's right.
Then that's another check.
It's another check mark that we've got that available. If you've got a corporate aircraft and you want to move a facility into here and you've got that aircraft, we can offer you that if you want to base it here.
Makes us that much more attractive.
That's right. That's right. But we already have interest from at least 3 firms who want to build. So, so we feel very confident that if we prepare these sites, that we have very strong probability of putting those 3 in, and then the 4th would probably be the county-owned one.
Wow, long term, George, how big could we make the airport out there? It's already a pretty good sized runway.
It's a good sized runway. It's 5,500 linear feet. You can handle most corporate aircraft with that. And so I don't know that we'd have to expand it, but if we have to, we have the capability to do it with the land that we own there. So I think we've got a solid airport for years to come.
And Greg Rule's doing a great job.
Greg Rule is doing a fantastic job there. Again, he's been involved in these discussions and these decisions. The Airport Advisory Committee has been as well. So I think it's been a good process that we've gone through trying to evaluate this. And I feel very good about where the airport is.
That's great. That's great. So did we cover about all we want to cover today?
I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
And I appreciate you speaking with us.
Glad to
and
do
our
it,
guest
Wayne.
has been Mr. George Wood, Wayne County Manager, who stays on top of things, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.